Welcome. This is not for the faint of heart. You are entering crime to the core.
Okay, guys. So this is the case of Daniel Krug. So this is actually about Daniel's wife, Kristil Krug, who was stalked and murdered in Colorado. So Kristil, who was 43, was beaten and stabbed to death inside her Bloomfield County home on Thursday, December 14th of 2023. So this was just less than a year ago.
Yeah.
So, or almost a year. Not too far off. So Kristil's husband, Dan Krug, was arrested 2 days later, and he is currently being housed at the Bloomfield Detention Center on a $5 million cash-only bond.
He entered a plea for not guilty through defense attorney Phil. I'm gonna butcher this. Geigel? Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, Geigel.
Yeah. And a jury trial is set to be beginning with a jury selection on February 27th, 2025. So next year.
In a few months, actually, technically.
The defendant has waived his rights to prove presumption or
preliminary
hearing.
So a status conference was held on September 27th of 2024, so literally less than a month ago. The main purpose of this hearing was to schedule a 2-week trial within the next 6 months in order to remain in compliance with the defendant's constitutional right to a speedy trial. So they're still giving this guy his rights, which is crazy. 2 final motions hearings will be held before trial on January 24th, 2025 and January 31st of 2025.
Life. The couple married in 2007 and had 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son, aged 14, 11, and 8. A GoFundMe campaign was created for people who wished to honor Kristil's memory by donating to her child for all the tending and purpose. They lost both parents that day.
The Krug children are currently living with maternal family members, so Kristil's family members, where they are surrounded by love and light and strength, which is so good to hear. A secondary GoFundMe was created by former neighbors of the Krug family who have started a project to remodel and redecorate new bedrooms for the kids. So that is very nice.
An emergency order of protection was granted for the Krug children by Judge Priscilla Lowe after Dan allegedly tried to discuss the police investigation and other matters that were off limits during a phone call to his children from the jail.
That's a little crazy to me because the kids are 14, 11, and 8.
Yeah.
Do they really care what is going on? Like, why is the dad talking to them about what the police are saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're more interested in, TikTok?
Yeah, but maybe they want to know how their dad is doing.
True, maybe. This is what we know so far about the case because this is fairly new. Trial hasn't even begun yet, so far this is what we know. So there were no signs of burglary.
There was no evidence of sexual assault. And there were
no obvious signs of a struggle. Kristil had possessions of her concealed carry firearm. The gun was loaded and it was found on her person at the crime scene.
Dan was the last person to see Kristil alive.
Kristil, who was a native of Colorado, was born in 1980. She was amazing in school. She attended the Colorado School of Mines on an academic scholarship. She then earned a bachelor's degree in biochemical engineering from CU Boulder before going to work as a project manager for Agilent Technology.
She was adored by friends and family. Daniel Bartholomew Krug, also 43 years old, worked as a finance analyst for the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment in Denver
So Dan has been charged with first-degree murder after deliberation, stalking, and emotional distress, stalking and threats with repeated communication, and criminal impersonation. According to the prosecutors, Dan spent 10 and a half weeks pretending to be an old college boyfriend of Kristil's, a man named Jake Anthony Holland, whom she dated for approximately 1 year, more than 20 years ago. Dan sent disturbing messages via text now and Gmail under Anthony's name as early as October 2nd, 2023.
On Halloween, Kristil received another email from her stalker. Attached to this particular email was a photo of her husband exiting his vehicle at his place of work. A government office, Kristil was frightened and she told Dan about the hostage communication almost immediately. She then filed a police report.
That is crazy. So Dan literally takes a picture of himself and sends it as her ex-boyfriend. That's crazy. This guy is all types of messed up. So the threats continued. The next several messages from Kristil's stalker mentioned that her license plates were expired. The implication was that he had been watching her while she was at a recent dental appointment. So Kristil's stalker mentioned that her license plate were expired. The implication was that he had been watching her while she was at a recent dental appointment. A photo of her vehicle taken outside the dental's office was attached to one of the emails.
Because of his threatening messages that was received on November 13, 2023, so about a year ago, Kristil contacted her local police department to file another report, so the second one. Officers were dispatched to conduct a welfare check on Dan at work, and another set of officers went to speak to Kristil at her residence.
So on Thursday, December 14th, 2023, around noon, Dan called the non-emergency police number from work and said that he had been trying to reach his wife at home for 3 hours. He wanted them to perform another welfare check at the Krug residence. And that's when they found her deceased, unfortunately.
So, guys, what you guys think about this one? What are you guys shocked about the most? And what do you guys feel if that was you guys?
Yeah.
And with that being said, I know this is not for this podcast, but our hearts and our prayers have gone to Florida.
Yeah, so our hearts and our prayers go out to everyone who is affected by Hurricane
Milton.
I was going to say Merlin for some reason. Hurricane Milton. We've seen clips. It looks incredibly scary.
Yeah.
So our hearts and prayers go out to all of you.
That's where we'll be sometime soon if God wants it to. But unfortunately, somebody did not do the research on where they're going to live.
Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, don't forget to like and follow our Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn your notification bell on so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And comment down below if you guys have started to hear about this case, if it's completely new to you, and what your thoughts are on the whole case.
Yeah, and make sure you guys comment down below and give us your request and what you guys want us to talk about in this podcast.
And guys, just a reminder, this podcast is for different types of crime. So like this one, just a one-off crime where a husband kills his wife or vice versa. A kidnapping case like our previous episode. This is not the podcast for serial killers. If you have any serial killer recommendation, go comment down below on Lights, Camera, Arrest. We should have an episode down below. Go comment your serial killer request there.
Until then, I'm John.
And I'm Angie.
And this is Crime to the Core.